Also had a black body with him. That's why history talks about Cromwell and his Negro cohorts. Every time we fell as a people, we always had blacks to help work against their own people. So he had a group that overthrew us in England, France, Richelieu. There was other ones that came down hard on us. Ignatius Loyola and his group, and the Jesuits. These many different groups. What I want to attempt to show you is that we was running, these was black people that was first coming to the shores of America. Okay? If you go up to the top of the page of this, you'll see up here where it shows you that the Vikings came over here. Let me point to it if I can locate it. The Vikings came over here in year 1000. Okay. Vikings, year 1000. All right. Cabot, John and Sebastian Cabot came out of where? England. There's still black people ruling. They came over here in the 1400s. All right. Hudson from France, black. All right. Another name, Cartier from France. Hudson from England. These guys came from England, France. The only whites that was coming over here was Columbus, and they came here with the blue line from Spain. All these other groups that first came over here was black people, and I got proof of that. Black people were the first one to settle the United States of America. It was black people. Henry VIII had had groups coming over here. The Vikings, they were black. They was coming over here. Let me show you. During the time of Queen Elizabeth, and King James, there was groups coming over here. Their names was called, and I'm going to show you what the name of this book it says. It says The History of Piracy. And what it shows you, and I'm just going to go to the content. And I'm going to show you if the camera can move in. The content says the pirates in general, the Barbarossas, the black, the successors of the Barbarossas, slavery and redemption. See what it says? The pirates of the north. The Vikings and the Hasidics, they was Israelites. The early English pirates, the Elizabethan, which is Queen Elizabeth, she was ruling England in the 1500s. King James' relative. The Elizabethan corsairs. Who these pirates and the Jacobean, which come from the seed of Jacob, pirates. Who these pirates was robbing was Spaniards. When I show you the book about these, the Christopher Columbus and the Spanish coming over here, they was robbing the Spaniards. That's who they was robbing. These Israelites from the Elizabethan period, the corsairs and the Jacobean pirates, they was robbing the Edomites on the open seas that was getting a lot of riches when they was coming over here out of the Americas. And when you go back to this diagram on the maps, you'll see where Christopher Columbus and Amerigo Vespucius was coming over here and so forth. And they was coming to the island. All right? They call it what? New Spain. They call South America down there tip of South America, New Spain, because the Spaniards had came over here. Now the blacks that
Central America.
In Central America, yeah, Central America call it New Spain, because the whites had conquered this. It was a race to conquer land over here on this side of the world. And these was black people that was coming all over. Now I'm gonna show you in the books, I believe I brought the book tonight to show you that where did I brought it? Show you that the blacks, King James from England, we go back over to the orange over here. King James sent Sebastian Cabot, them other guys. Well, King James was born when Cabot was coming. But Queen Elizabeth, and before her, Henry VIII. All right, Henry VIII was sending Sebastian Cabot them over here to venture out this land and to get riches and goods. They was trading with the North American Indian. And when King James sat on the throne in the latter part of the 1500s and the 1600s, Raleigh and the other ones came over here in this part. That's why when you look at Queen Elizabeth, they're holding globes in their hand of the earth, the planet Earth, because they came over here and they was trading with the North American Indian. All right? The only group of the white that was coming here at that time was the Spaniards. Now I'm going to go on a book, Ahrayah can you might have to cut that for a second. I'm going to go on a book and show you that the Israelites would settle this land first through grants of King James and the other black kings of Europe. Okay? You can stop. Yeah, as I stated about the Jews that came here to the United States of America first to settle this country were free men. They was Christians. They was Israelites. They first came to the United States. I mentioned about Henry VIII having expeditions over here with the North American Indians and trading with them. I mentioned about Queen Elizabeth sending expeditions over here to the United States, trading with the North American Indian and the Aboriginal people of North America, Israelites. They knew that they was Israelites. I mentioned about King James sending expeditions over here. That's why King James gave the grants to the Israelites to come over here and establish the colonies. The first 13 colonies over here was settled by black men. And the proof of this is in a book that I'm going to show you. The camera can move in on it. The name of the book is called Before the Mayflower, A History of the Negro in America, 1619 to 1962. In 1619, there was a period of King James rulership. We've shown you many pictures on previous shows showing you that King James is a black man, all right, as well as Queen Elizabeth, as well as Mary of Scotland, as well as Henry VIII, Henry III, and so forth. They was all blacks. And going all the way back to Edward III and the IV and so on. It was all black men. All the way back to William I was all black men. Now what we're going to read here is a couple of captions, and the brother's going to read on page 35 of the book called They Came Before the Mayflower, page 35, and the second paragraph, the first paragraph states this. Read.
Christopher Columbus and sugar made the slave trade a big business.
That's right. Christopher Columbus and sugar made the slave trade a big business. They discovered sugar, and they was using this as one of the number one trading commerce commodity that was transported back to Europe and so forth. And also slave labor to process this merchandise and so forth, this product, sugar. They needed slaves to do that and to sell this land. Read on.
Descendants of the first Negro slaves.
Now listen to this very closely. Descendants of the first Negro slaves. Read on.
Black Christians.
Black Christians. We told you about the etymology of the word Christian a few minutes ago, meaning that the Christians was Jews, were Israelites. It says black Christians, born where?
Born in Spain and Portugal.